How to move from manager to full-fledged leader. Good morning, it's Melissa. I hope you have your coffee. I sure have mine. My name's Melissa, and I'm an executive coach and a management consultant. So if we haven't had a chance to meet yet, or talk in any capacity, just to give you a brief look into what I do is I work with leaders. I work with managers at different levels and executives, and I help them build high-performing teams without having to be the bad guy or handhold to get results. So joining me today is Kelsey Ann. Kelsey Ann is part of my team, and she's a big part of why I come every week live and share some really great information. So Kelsey Ann, a little bit about you.
So I am your marketing director, and we do these lives to add value to those that follow you and to share your values and what you teach and what we practice day to day. And I am here to offer the employee perspective.
Yeah, which is very, very valuable. So I have an exciting opportunity right now. And we're going to talk about what that means and what that could mean for you if you've been thinking about increasing your influence, if you've been thinking about communication and being more influential, and if you've been thinking about making a positive impact on the culture in your company. I'm opening up 6 seats inside the Executive Edge program. So that's my 8-week programs for managers and executives who are wanting to increase their influence, who are wanting to have a bigger impact and to really master their communication. And in this program, I'm helping them make that transition from being the manager, maybe being stuck in the everyday problem solving, into leadership, because leadership is about people. And there's a famous quote by Grace Hopper, and it reads very simply: you manage things and you lead people. You manage things, you lead people. And yet when we are promoted, when we step into leadership positions, we don't always get the time to really master those skills that make the difference, that build your executive presence, that build your ability to influence and to get buy-in. Because we're selling ideas, we're selling projects, we're selling tasks, we're selling collaboration. We are selling, and we need buy-in. And that can be really, really hard to get or very, very easy. And what makes a difference is your people skills. Kelsey Ann, any thoughts that are coming to mind? I'm just seeing you smile and nod.
Nothing that's coming to mind like right away, other than like I get so excited because to see the transformation of these leaders that are coming in, and they're, some of them are like, okay, like I know these concepts, but then when they have these like, these aha moments in session, like it's just, and you get so excited because you're like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. And when they were watching these the videos that you've selected, and they're realizing how much their emotions are coming into play in the day to day. And now they have tools to be able to deal not only with other people's emotions, but your own emotions, right? So yeah, it's really exciting because yeah, I get excited.
You get to see the transformation, exactly, yeah. And the insights that get transformed into practical application.
Absolutely.
The practice every day. So if you have been feeling weighed down by your leadership responsibilities, if you've been feeling stuck managing, pushing, moving information, dragging people to success, you don't have to do that anymore. And if you are there and you want something better, if you are interested, I want you to imagine for a moment what it would be like to walk into your office greeted by people who are happy to be there, who are motivated to do the work. Like, isn't that the ideal? Watching your team getting things done, getting them done well without you having to interfere. Like being able to trust that things are going to happen, that you're there or not there.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to make decisions confidently from a place of clarity, even when there's chaos around you. That, my friend, is a beautiful thing. Right? Because in leadership, we don't make, there's no easy decisions. Every decision is going to impact someone. And so having that confidence and being able to make it from a place of clarity makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling at ease, tackling those challenges, knowing that you can count on people, knowing that people have your back at different levels of the organization. They value you. And knowing that you're making a difference, really making a difference in the employee culture and making a difference in the big picture where the business is going. The leaders that I work with, that is what they want and that is what they get. And so if that sounds really interesting to you, there's two things that you really need that are really important for you to make this all happen. So the first thing is practical emotional intelligence. And I'm highlighting practical here for a very specific reason, because emotions drive people and people drive performance. So when we're building up performance, it's really, really important to understand emotions and not just understand them, but know how to navigate them. Because we might have these like emotions, whatever, they're not, this is about business, this is about getting things done. But the difference between somebody doing the things and wanting to do the things is how they feel about the things. It's how they feel about you. It's how they feel about the company. It's how they feel about their role. It's how they feel about this project, this person they need to collaborate with. Their feelings will come into play, and we have lots of, feelings we're trying to avoid, like frustration, resentment, discontent, these emotions we don't want to deal with, anger. But there's lots of emotions that are important in the workplace, like excitement, trust, anticipation, loyalty.
Dare I say, frustration is a good one too, right? Like there are these emotions that are often uncomfortable. They're not negative or positive, but they're uncomfortable or comfortable, and they all serve a purpose.
They all serve a purpose, and you can't get one without the other.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking like, oh yeah, I want loyalty and I want satisfaction and I want excitement and trust and all of these things, these are emotions. And so if we're opening that door, if we want these things, we have to look at everything. And that comes with the uncomfortable emotions. And if you're here right now, what I know is that you've taken loads of training, you have a ton of experience. And you know that just having a framework or two is not going to be enough, which is usually where the typical training stops, right? Giving you, here's a model, here's a way to do it. And then you go off into the real world and you discover that it's not so easy. And you know that when the going gets tough, when things get uncomfortable, when stress increases, it is much harder. It's easier said than done. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm talking about practical emotional intelligence, because it's not just knowing. It's not just having a concept. It's not just believing that it's important, but it's knowing and having the practice that you're navigating these emotions and knowing exactly what to do in any situation. It's having the skills that really make the difference in the heat of the moment. And just to contrast that difference, it's going from, practicing, how you prepare for those hard conversations, and you're like, oh, if they say this, I'll do this, and you make a big plan and you spend so much time and you ruminate all night, maybe for weeks before having these conversations. When you have the skills, you don't need to do that, because you know how to be responsive in the moment. And the thing is you can't predict every possible route. And when we're stuck on thinking about every possible route, we're not listening anymore. And so it's almost impossible to really navigate those hard conversations when we're so stuck on what we want to say, and plan A and plan B and plan C and plan D. And I'm speaking from experience. Like I used to be this perfect planner. Every conversation was planned out. And as much as I have a framework for my conversations, I rely on my skills first and foremost. And those are the skills that you get inside this program. All right, so that's number one. We need practical emotional intelligence. The stuff that you practice every day and that you have when things get chaotic and stressful. Number two, what's really important is a customized strategy. So what you're getting inside here is completely customized to you. I take small groups, so there's not a lot of opportunities to get in this program because it's tailored to you, and I work with you. You get all of me. You get direct access, live sessions every week. You get me. Because the thing is what you're experiencing is unique. You're unique as a leader. You have a unique leadership style. Your team is unique. Every individual on your team is unique, and the culture is also unique. So there is no way that we can give you, here's the magic bullet, pull the trigger and you'll be all done. That's not how it works. We have to look at everything from the inside to the external, all of the factors, so that we can customize a strategy that's going to work for you. And that way, as you have this customized strategy, you don't have to do all the things. You have to do the things that are important to you and the things that will get you the ROI. So you spend less time in training and development, and because you're doing the right things, you start seeing shifts right away. So by that second week, you're already starting to see people's attitude changing, their response to you is changing, things are moving. And that takes things off of your plate so you can start breathing. And those hard situations don't have to take as much space, and they can be resolved easily. And there's a couple of examples that are coming to mind. I had a client last week who was getting ready to have a hard conversation. And so she contacts me and she's like, look, this is the situation. I don't know what to do. I kind of feel like I need to talk to the individual, but, right? Feeling uncomfortable, not really knowing. And so what we did is we worked on the mindset about how she was going to approach the conversation. And what were the framework she was going to use in the conversation. And it went from being a hard conversation to a conversation that was very supportive to the individual. And the individual, the employee, was happy and felt supported and relieved and excited. It was not a conversation where they felt put down or having to give some hard feedback. That wasn't the case. And yet the message was clear. but the outcome was exactly what she wanted it to be. And so that's a beautiful thing. And that was a, 10-minute coaching call between her and I at that moment, for her to have a beautiful conversation and not only keep the employee and up her performance, but create that bond, like that satisfaction. Kelsey Ann, what do you want to add here?
Well, it's interesting because I've kind of come in and come out of these sessions. So, that's not uncommon that these leaders come back and they say, I know I've just started this program, but it's like my employees already, they know something's different and they're like, you're doing things differently. And like, I can tell something's changed, but I'm not exactly sure what. And like that feedback is consistent from these leaders that, by week 2 or 3, there's been shifts in their leadership style and, using these different tools, and the tools that you give them, oftentimes they're photocopied and given to the employees and everybody raves about them. And they come back to them time and time again. So they're not these tools that you put on the shelf and you look at once and you don't put away, you don't look at them again. These are tools that the leaders and the leaders' employees are now using for whatever comes up. So it's really exciting when we hear that kind of feedback coming back from participants when they're going through the program.
Yeah. And so examples of results that people have gotten, leaders have gotten through the program, is more ease having difficult conversations, more confidence making decisions, and selling their ideas, like that influence piece. They get really comfortable. They get really comfortable with their leadership style. You mentioned leadership style, Kelsey Ann. They come in maybe questioning, secretly questioning, like, I know I have the right idea. I know people are important, but I'm getting these messaging, right? We're taught that we shouldn't be empathetic, that if we're too soft, we're going to be railroaded, will be taken advantage of. All of this messaging that's around us, create some questions. So how can we stay aligned with our values and our leadership style and increase our effectiveness? And that is really, the key or the magic. We're not going to change you. We're going to really improve what you're doing in a way that it's effective. So you don't have to compromise anything. I heard, this was an anti-inflammatory, less reactive, more responsive, witnessing the patterns inside and out, what's going on, feeling more in control, having more steadiness.
Yeah, the self-awareness of, their own emotions as well as emotions around them, of the people around them, has been really neat.
And building those strategic relationships within the organization, those alliances that make a difference, that give you a bigger reach. And it all starts, like, right at the root of all of that is working with emotions, reaching people where it counts, because people are driven by emotions. So if these are the types of results that you have been looking for, and by the way, the people that I work with come in with a ton of emotional intelligence, right? I am working with people who have a ton of experience, who've been in leadership for X number of years, and who already have a good foundation of how to lead. And yet when they finished at the end of 8 weeks, I was like, wow, now I know everything I didn't know about emotional intelligence. I know how to practice it. I know how to live it. I don't just know about it, but it becomes part of you.
Yeah, definitely.
So if this is the type of results you are looking for, you can apply right now. There's only so many spots. So we have 6 spots, 2 are spoken for, which means we have 4 seats left. All you need to do is book a call. And booking a call doesn't mean you're in a program. Booking a call means we're going to take a few minutes to connect, to look over what you would like to get out of it, what you're seeking to get, and make sure it's a good fit. And look, this is a two-way street. This is about, you know, what fits for you and what fits for me. So we're going to make sure that we are fit to work together. And at the end of that call, if that's something that you want to move forward with, then we go to the next step. Then you can make a decision. So booking your call doesn't mean you're in. It means you are committing to explore the possibility. All right. We're going to meet each other. No stress, no pressure. It's got to be right. It has to be right. And if you book your call in the next 48 hours, you've got till Wednesday at 5. I'm also giving you a bonus emotional mastery toolkit. So these are tools that are going to help you get so much more out of it. So these are the practical tools that you're going to be able to use with yourself and with your team, with your employees, to get more results. I'm going to show you what's inside that toolkit. So you're going to get the Heart of Leadership, getting results with emotional intelligence, how to get results with emotional intelligence. There you go. I was going by memory. So this is a book that follows you through the program. So I'll give some recommended readings and after the program. So it just goes into a little bit deeper, the understanding of all the practice that we're going to put in play. You're going to get a booklet, Practicing Emotional Intelligence. What I love about this booklet, it is small, it packs a really big punch, and it's a really good starting place to introduce your team to emotional intelligence. There's a lot of good things in there that you can build team building or even team coaching around. I'm going to give you some hints on how to do that. You're going to get your EQ coaching cards, which I love. They're beautiful. And talk about, you know, structuring conversations and getting ready. These are cards that are going to help you get ready for whatever is happening, whatever leadership challenges are happening. And then as you think about, I'm about to have conversations and I need to ask some questions, you have example questions right here on the back of the card that you're going to be able to use with your employee as you're coaching them. And they're so beautiful. Like, look at the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
They're just pleasant to look at, right? They feel good. They feel good. All right. And then you're going to get Plutchik's Wheel of Emotions. So you're going to get to know all of these 8 core emotions very, very intimately. Not just, you know, the word that you attach to the emotion, but what is the sensation? How do you recognize it? Why is this emotion happening? And how do you leverage that emotional energy that comes with this emotion? Because every emotion is useful. Like Kelsey had mentioned in the beginning of this video, it's very useful to know. You would work with anger different than fear. This is a tool that's going to be at your fingertips so that you can switch as you're going through your day-to-day conversations. You can recognize, you can be like, oh, recognize that. Let me adapt. Let me navigate that emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get this card. So this has all the models that we work with inside the program. This particular one we work a lot with, which is the change map. So this is how to lead yourself and others through change. And as leaders, you're leading people through change. Change comes in all kinds of variety, that from, you know, how we're working to a new project, to a new task, to new structures. There's always change. So this, people with change management training really love this because it goes into that people piece, that emotional piece, that the emotions of resistance, how to work with them, and the emotions that actually move everything forward. So this is something to combine with your existing training. So all of this, you're going to get, this is going to be your kit. If you book your call in the next 48 hours, you're going to get access to this. And you need to book your call by what date, Kelsey Ann, for them
The 8th
the 8th
at 5.
But I mean, to get in the program, to apply for the program.
It is, we're closing the doors on the
15th.
Yeah.
15th is the last day you can apply. This is likely the last cohort this year. So if you want to get yourself ready for 2024, start the new year on a solid footing, solid ground, and make 2024 easier than 2023. This is the time to apply. This is the time to apply. So you have until the 15th, and we kick off at the end of the month. So the week of November 27th. So what else do we need to share here, Kelsey Ann, before we close up? What else?
We need to talk about everything that is, like, we talked about the mastery kit, bonus kit, but we didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of what they're actually going to get within the program, which is so, like, you talked a little bit about they get the access to you, and they have group sessions, but they also have some other things that are really nice and juicy to share.
Perfect. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So absolutely. So 8 weeks, it's an 8-week program. You see me every week. You get 2 one-on-one coaching sessions and 6 group sessions. So that's 8 sessions all together, all with me live. So this is not like a pre-recorded automated program. This is direct access to me every single week. And we go through it together. So we start off with the one-on-one session, and we kick off with an EQ leadership report. So we get to get a very, very precise view of your leadership right now. So in your profile, we're going to be able to see what we can leverage, what you already have that's working, that's solid, and where we need to make some tweaks. All right, so that's when we get super precise and are able to customize what you're going to focus on. So you don't need to focus on everything because you're already doing lots of things right. We just need to make those adjustments. All right, so that is week 1. Then we get into the group, and in group, we're going to cover and we're going to work with very specific things. We're going to have, you're going to get learning content, you're going to get discussions, breakouts, activities, reflections, and all in service of you walking away from each session and implementing. So the homework is the practice. The homework is not reading extra stuff. You can read extra stuff if you want. I'm giving you a book. So there are lots of materials and resources if you want them, but the real homework is the practice. It's the next conversation. It's the next interaction. It's how you're going to make your next decision. It's going to be practical with what you're working with right now, what's on your desk, who is sitting across from you in your office. That's the homework. At the end, we're going to reassess you. I want you to be able to see your before and after, what you've done in 8 weeks. And it's pretty incredible to be able to see, I set off, these were the goals, here's what we've accomplished. And I'm always blown away. I'm always blown away with what can be accomplished in 8 weeks when we are deliberate in our practice. Amazing. Amazing. And to practice to get the results right away, to be able to confirm, okay, I made this tweak. Here's the result of that. Now let me make this tweak. Here's the result of that. And getting that feedback as you're going through the process. it doesn't take that long, right? 8 weeks, we're seeing immense results. And I have a beautiful case study. Well, I'll try to share it this week or next week. So you can see an example of that before and after. And then we wrap up with a last coaching session. So we make sure that we are closing all the loops, we're bringing it all together, and that you're feeling really confident about your leadership practice. And then you're going to get a certificate and a badge leaving the program so that you can share that with the world, that you can show that you've invested in yourself and be recognized for that investment. So that's what it's going to be like. And last but not least, you get direct access to me. So I give you a direct line. I set you up. You're going to get a direct line to me and a direct line to the group so that through those 8 weeks behind the scenes, you get continuous support. And like I just mentioned, somebody who was about to have a difficult conversation wanted to run through and prepare to have that conversation, which wasn't difficult at all. Because of the approach, you get to have me in that fashion. You get to pull on me when you need it through those 8 weeks. Anything you want to add, Kelsey? And did I miss anything?
No, I think you pretty much covered it all. I'm very excited to see who's going to be at the table next.
Absolutely. And we already have 2 incredible leaders signed up, and it's going to be wonderful. I have lots of fun and lots of great feedback. So if you're interested, I'll be sharing some testimonials and stuff so you can see what leaders are saying about the program, and book your call. Let's explore. Book it quick. They're going to go quick. They usually do. And we'll see you inside the Executive Edge.
Bye.
Bye.